Welcome to part 4 of this tutorial series where we're creating this Sci-Fi Airlock Corridor in Blender. So in this part we're going to be doing a bit more lighting and some more materials, and we are going to be texture painting the walls of the tunnel. Now real quick before we start, I wanted to let you know about an amazing Blender add-on for getting realistic skies and sky lighting, the Physical Starlight and Atmosphere Blender add-on. Physical Starlight and Atmosphere is an amazing Blender add-on for creating realistic skies and sky lighting. I've used the add-on myself and I highly recommend it. You can customize the sun, atmosphere, stars, clouds, fog, and more. The add-on also provides some outstanding sky presets, such as daytime and sunset, fog and haze, Mars, and even retrowave. You can also change the time of day just by rotating the sunlight. Check out the add-on with the link in the description, and by purchasing the add-on through my link, you'll be helping to support this channel. Alright, so let's get started with this part. So I'm going to just select the main object. We want to UV unwrap this. So I'm going to go over here to the UV editing, and just like we did with the other object, if you select everything, I'm just going to do the Smart UV Project. So the Smart UV Project will work fine for texture painting. Now we can go right over here to the shading workspace, and I want to actually add the same material which I have for the floor. So I'm going to click on the drop down here and I'm going to select the floor material, and so now the walls have the floor material. But then I want to duplicate this material and create a different bump map that we can paint. So I'll just click right here to duplicate this material, and I can just call it like walls. And now that this is a separate material, I can just delete this image here, and let's click on new and add a new image. So again, I'm going to use a 4K texture. So I'm going to use 4096 by 4096, and I can just call this walls. And then again, we want to use a mid-gray color. So right here on the RGB, you can make sure these are all 0.5, although the alpha should be 1. But the red, green, and blue should be 0.5, and that way we can paint lighter or darker, but in the middle it'll just be a gray color. And again, I want to use the 32-bit float so that the bump map is much higher quality. I'll click on OK, and then I want to make sure this is set to cubic. And on the color space here, I'll use the non-color. So this is pretty much already set up because we just duplicated the material. So that already looks pretty cool, but of course we need to do some painting. So let's go right over here to the texture painting workspace. And I'm going to go here to the modifiers, and I just want to hide the mirror modifier because I don't want to see it. So I'm just going to click on this button here to hide the mirror, and that way it's kind of out of the way. All right, so I brought this over to my drawing tablet. So we're pretty much doing the exact same thing which we did in the previous part. We're just going to be texture painting a bunch of sci-fi details similar to what we did on the ground. So I'm going to start by adding a few bolts here and there, or some rivets. I'm going to like add one there, and let's also add some in that triangle there. And we can also kind of go down here, maybe add some here. And I think I might actually want to change the lighting a little bit. So if I go right here, go to the viewport shading, I think I want to change this just because it's a little bit hard to see things. That looks a little bit better. I could also turn the strength up to make it a bit brighter. And also real quick, something that I'm going to do to make it even easier to see the metal is I'm going to go back here to the shading, and I'm just going to click on this bump node right here. And this is the one which is giving the metal all that shine. And I'll just press the M key just to mute the node. So if I go back here to texture painting, now in the material preview, you can see that is much smoother. So it's easier to see what we're painting. So I'm going to go to side view, and then what I can actually do is just hit the 8 on the numpad, and that's going to kind of rotate it up. And then I can hit the 5 on the numpad to go to orthographic view. So now we're kind of looking at this flat on. So if I use the 2 on the numpad and 8 on the numpad, it's basically going to rotate us around in increments, but then we're still in the orthographic view. Right here, if I go to the stroke settings, I want this to be line, and I will leave the spacing really small, so that is great. I want to change the color. So instead of it being black, I want to use white. So I can now drag down there, and then I can kind of bring this over like that. I could also bring this up. That's pretty cool. Then come up here, and then I could also go across. That's a bit too far, so let's go on this one, bring that across there, and kind of just go straight down like that. And actually what I could do is just kind of make this like a light gray. We'll see how that looks, just kind of like a light gray. That's actually pretty cool. So you can see it is kind of making those little rivets, but they're not quite as dark. And then I think I want to make a bunch of rivets kind of going down this piece here. So to do that, we can go here to the stroke settings, and we can turn the spacing way up, and I think 500 works pretty well. And then we still have the setting to line, so I can just drag down there. I think I might do that in a few more areas, so maybe like right here. That's pretty cool. And also right in here, I could add a few more. So I think I'm going to make this texture black again, and then I can go in there, add one there and another one there. And then let's go back here to the stroke settings, and I'm going to turn the spacing back to 9 because I just want to add in some more of these panels here. So like that, bring that over there, and then this can kind of connect. So bring that there. We can add another one right there, bring that over and down, and then just connect it up. And we could also do another thing here, and I'm just going to fill in that bit there. Let's do some more things. So I want to do maybe a big thing here. So I'll go like that, maybe just make like a big square or a rectangle, and I can kind of fill that in, maybe add a few more things here. And also right over here, I think it would be cool to add like some lines. So I'm just going to add like some horizontal lines kind of going down. That looks pretty cool. And then maybe add some bolts there. And maybe also right here, I could add like some squares. So go right there, add another one right there, add something right there. All right, I'm going to go back into the camera view and just see how that's looking, and I definitely think that looks really cool. Go back to side view, then I can hit the 8 to go up, and then I'll hit the 5 again to go back into orthographic view, and I can hit the 2 and the 8 on the numpad to kind of rotate around, so I'm looking at this more flat. I do just want to add a few more things, but not too much more. I don't want to overdo it. Just want to add some details here and there. So I'm going to make something kind of cool here, kind of going down and then over, and then down, and then just kind of fill that. And maybe adding another box here. I could also add just like a few lines there, and maybe add some more rivets or bolts. So if I go here to the stroke, I can turn this up to 500, and then I can drag a line. It's going to add some dots there. Maybe along here as well. So like that, and I changed the color. So this color was just kind of like a light gray color. So now they're a bit more subtle. All right, go back into the camera view, and I could actually go into the rendered view just to kind of see how that's looking. And that is looking pretty cool. I think it does need a few more details kind of around here. So I'm gonna go back to the material preview and just add a few more things. So I'm gonna turn this back to 9 here on the spacing. Just keep on adding a few more things. So I'm just gonna add something here. I'm just gonna fill that in. Maybe add something else here, kind of go like that, bring that down and over. And then I think I might use that eraser feature again. So basically I'm just going to hover my mouse over this empty space and press the S key to use the eyedropper. And then I can like go in here and I can like kind of erase some areas, just adding a bit more detail. That's pretty cool. Maybe erase a few more details here. Yeah, that actually looks really cool. I really like that. So I'm gonna go along there, just erase a few things. Also maybe right here, just erase a few of those things there. All right, let's take a look at that. I think that is pretty much good for that bottom area. So I'm gonna go up here and do some more details up here now. So I'm going to go to side view, and then I'll draw some lines kind of coming down. I think I want it to be a bit thicker. So I'll make my brush a bit bigger, kind of go down there, just like that. And I can also add some dots at the end. I just find that little sci-fi detail looks pretty cool, something like that. Let's also go here in the corners and add some things. So add a bunch of little dots there in the corners. And then I want to go back here to the stroke settings. We'll turn this way up. I can make my brush a bit smaller, and then I can just like go along this entire piece, add some rivets there and here as well. I'm going to go back to the camera view and just see this in the rendered view, just to kind of see how that is looking. So we definitely need some more details, but it's really getting there. So I'm going to add a few more kind of rivets there, just really doing the same thing, adding some there and there and there. Let's also do some here in these corners, and then let's also add some more stuff here. So maybe like a line there and there. And then I can also bring a line down and over and down and then over, just creating some interesting shapes. Maybe this one could be filled in, and then we can use that eraser option. So I'm going to make my brush really big, and that way I can just kind of go along here and fill in most of the area. And then I can zoom in closer, and my brush is still going to stay the same size, so I can just fill that all in. So I'm now going to kind of use the eraser effect by holding down the S key, just grabbing that color, and then I can make my brush smaller. And I'm just going to go in here and kind of erase away some areas. Maybe also add some things there. All right, so I've just been doing a bit more painting, just kind of adding a bunch of details there. I'm just going to go into the camera view again and take a look at that in the rendered mode. So now we just need to do the ceiling. So I'm going to go back to solid view, actually the material preview. Now it's kind of hard to texture paint the ceiling when we have this ground object right here. So what I'm going to do is go back to solid view, and then I'm going to click on the texture paint, and I'm going to go back to object mode. So I now just want to move to kind of the front view, and then I'm going to press Alt B. So after you press Alt B, you can drag a box around the front and then let go, and this way it's going to hide everything that wasn't in the box. So I can now select this object again, and I can go back into the texture paint. Now one problem with this is that if you go into the material preview, it's going to show the original mesh again, so I can just do this in the solid view. But because we're in the texture painting mode, it's going to show us the texture on the object. So I'm going to press Control 7. That is going to take me to the bottom view, and then I can start to paint this. So I want to make some rivets here on the top. So I'm just going to zoom out here, and then I can drag, hold down the Alt key and add those. And then also kind of right in here, I'm going to zoom in, make my brush a bit bigger. And also right here on the stroke settings, I can turn this back to 9. So now I can just like go along here and make some little lines. So I'm just going to go along there. Let's also make some more of those lines here. I think those look pretty cool. They almost look like little vents or something. All right, that is pretty cool. Also right down here, I will make something like a little box right there. And then we can also just add a few panels. I don't want to add too many, but just like a few panels right there. And then we can always go back into the material preview just to kind of see how that is looking. So I can go into the material preview, kind of zoom out, and then I can go back to solid view, and that way we'll still be able to use that box boundary. So I'll press Control 7 again, and let's kind of zoom in here. I want to add a few more bolts here and there. And I'm also going to add like a few little squares or rectangles, and I'm going to fill this one in. All right, just like that. All right, so I'm going to go back to the material preview, go into the camera view, and actually I'm going to go into the rendered mode just so that I can see how that's looking. So that's pretty cool. I don't want to add too many details to the roof, so that is pretty good. All right, so we are done texture painting the walls and the ceiling. So then of course we need to save this image to a file on our computer. So let's click on image, and I can click on save as. And I'm just going to save this as wall bump as a PNG image, and I will click on save as image. All right, so I can now go back here to the layout, and I'm going to go into the camera view, and then I want to be able to preview the other wall. So I'm just going to click right here to show the mirror modifier, and I can go into the rendered mode, just kind of see how that is looking. That is looking super cool. We have so much more detail now. Now, if you go into the material preview and look here at the top, you can see that there is kind of some overlap on those beams, and it is really hard to see in the rendered mode because the scene is so dark, but I do want to fix that. So I'm just going to go into edit mode of the main object here, and I'm just going to select the beam and also select that beam and also select that beam. So I don't want there to be any of the texture painting on those beams. So I can just go over to the UV editing workspace, and then I can just select all of the UV editing because we have those beams selected. And I can now just scale them down. I'm going to make them really small, and I'm just going to stick them into this gray area. So now if I go into the material preview, I can go back to object mode, and you can see now there isn't any painting there on those beams. So I can go back to the layout. Now I also want to have some slight variation in the metal colors, because if I go into edit mode, kind of zoom in here, I want some of these pipes to be kind of like a lighter metal, and then I want some of the plates to be like a darker metal. So I'm going to go over to the shading workspace to do this, and then I can go back to the material preview. So what I'm going to do is just select some of these pieces here by hovering my mouse over the pieces and pressing the L key, and I'm just going to select some of these pieces. So I'll select these ones and these ones. And I'll also select those back faces there, that back face there, and then I can also select that face, maybe select these and that as well. And I think I will also select that piece as well. So I now want to make all of these metal pieces a slightly darker metal, but it's going to have the same material. And actually you can see that I hid the bump node. So what I'm going to do is just press the M key to unhide that bump node so I can kind of see the bump there on the metal. All right, so now what I want to do here is go to the materials, and in the material slots, we want to add a new material. So I'm going to click on the plus here to add a new material in the slot. And then if I click here on the drop down, I can just add the walls material. Then I can click on this button here just to duplicate the material, and I can just call it like walls darker. So now we have walls and walls darker. So with the walls darker selected, you can click on assign. So now this is a separate material, but it has the same data. So I can now just change the colors. So what I can do do is just go here to the search, and I can search for a hue saturation value node, and I'm just going to drop this in here between the color ramp and the principled shader. So I can now turn down the value, and you can see it's going to make it darker, so I'll just make it a bit darker like that. And then if I go into rendered mode just to kind of see how that's looking, it's just going to add a bit more variation because you can see some of the metal is a little bit darker. So I might just change this to like a 0.4. I can also play around with these colors if I want to, so I could kind of drag these around. I could even preview that, and then I could drag these around and make it lighter or darker, and I could also invert the colors or flip them or do whatever I want. And then I also want to add another material for the pipes, so let's go back into edit mode. I can kind of zoom in here, and then I'm just going to select all the pipe objects, so those, and also these right here. So I can now do the same thing. So I'm going to open up the side panel here. Let's add a new material, and I can just add the walls material, and then I just want to duplicate this material. So I'll just hit this button here, duplicate the material, and I can rename this to pipes instead. And then with the pipe selected, you can just click on assign. So I'm going to go into the material preview, just kind of zoom into the pipes, and I want to make them a bit more shiny. So what I'm going to do is just drag this down here on this mix. I'm just going to drag the color down, make it darker, and if it's darker, it'll be more reflective. And then also right here, I can just drag these away so there is more white, and it's going to be much lighter. So you can kind of play around with that, but I'm going to make it a much lighter color, so something like that. So now those pipes are just a lighter metal color, and that will just give a bit more variation. Alright, so before I finish up with this part, I do want to add the material for these lights up here. So let's just select the lights object, and then we can add a new material here. I'm just going to make this smaller. Let's click on the drop down here, and I'm going to start by just adding the floor material. But then I don't want to use the bump map on these lights, so what I can just do is duplicate the material, and I can just call it lights metal. So just call that lights metal. So now I can just delete some of these nodes. So I'm going to select this here, delete that. I can also delete this bump node because I don't need that. And then also this color ramp here, I don't need that, so I can delete it. And instead, I just want to take the base color, and I want to make it kind of a dark color. And I'm just going to go into rendered mode and kind of see how that is looking. So let's go back to solid view. I'm just going to go into edit mode here, and I just want to select this face. And this face I want to make an emission material. So let's open up the side panel here. I can click on the plus to add a new material in the slot. I'll just add a new material, and I can just call this light. And then I will just assign that face to that material. So then here in the material, I'm going to add an emission. So let's just add the emission, and I can replace that for the principled shader. And then I can just go into the camera view again. I'm going to go into rendered mode just to see how that's looking, and I can turn up the strength to make it brighter. And then if I just click on this light here, I'm just going to hide the light for now so I can't see it. So back here on these lights, I'm going to make this a bit brighter. And I'm going to go with like a strength of 30. I think that is pretty good. And then here on the color, I'm just going to make this a very, very slight blue color. And I think I might make this a bit brighter, so maybe even like a 50, so those lights are a little bit brighter. And then if I just unhide that other light that I hid, this light here, I want to change this light. And so if I just click on the light, I instead want it to be an area light instead. And I also want to make it much less bright because right now it is way too strong. So I'll just turn it down to maybe like a 15, so it's not quite as strong. And then I can scale this light up, and then I can move this light, and I'm going to move this light a bit closer to us, and then I can also rotate the light over. I'm going to rotate this light over, and so I want this area light to be pointed at the doorway. And so it's kind of going to look like these lights are kind of lighting the doorway up, but the airlock door is the main focus that you're looking at, so I want that to be the brightest part of the scene. That's why I'm adding that extra light there, just to brighten up the airlock door. And I'll also just kind of leave it this very, very slight blue color. So this is going to wrap up part 4 of the tutorial series. So I hope you've been enjoying this, and thank you for watching. And in the last part, we are going to be texture painting the back wall here and the airlock door, and we'll be finalizing the materials, and then we'll also like add a depth of field and do some other things to make the image look really nice, and then we will render the scene and do the compositing. So when the last part is released, it'll be right up there on the end screen and the link in the description. So thank you for watching, and I will see you in the last part.